With tonight's Showbiz Countdown, the top 5 breakup blockbusters. And kicking us off at number 5, the just-revealed leaked phone call that is claimed to be from LeAnn Rimes. It's reportedly from a woman who accused Rimes of being a homewrecker, and it comes just days after LeAnn checked herself into a facility for 30 days because of emotional problems. So you got to watch this with me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for anything that's been offensive. And I really, really mean it. And other than that, honestly, I was actually kind of excited to talk to you because I thought, we could get past all of this because it's so stupid. And it's my life and her life and Eddie's life and Dean's life and no one else's. And so I kind of thought that, we could kind of move past this. So, and even talking, I was just thinking, maybe we should just, cut ties and, move on.
Wow. It's just incredible to me to actually hear LeAnn just laying out her feelings like that on that call. With me tonight in New York's pop culture reporter Brian Baltazar, who is the editor of Pop Goes the Week. From Hollywood, Rachel Zalas, contributing editor to Life and Style Weekly. So, guys, part of LeAnn's emotional and coping problems reportedly have been over her continuing to get harassed on the internet for being a part of the breakup of her now husband, Eddie Cibrian's old marriage. The woman LeAnn apparently called was giving her a hard time on Twitter, and LeAnn is now actually suing the woman and her daughter after parts of that call surfaced on the internet. Rachel, it seems to me that if LeAnn did make the call hoping to make peace, it shows really just how much all of this has gotten to her.
It was a horrible idea, by the way. I think she has the Lindsay Lohan spotlight syndrome. She cannot stay away from attention. But the worst part is she did herself no favor. She said, "I'm really sorry about anything offensive. And by the way, Brandy is a vindictive you-know-what." What is she doing?
Yeah. Brian, are you with me on this? I got to tell you, it surprised me to no end that LeAnn could actually be calling her Twitter followers and even spending time with them. Doesn't it shock you?
It is absolutely shocking. And this is a really stark reminder that celebrities are people too. They have thousands of Twitter followers, and she's singling this one to, just to call them and kind of make amends or break it up. What kills me is that she's really taking all this personally, and it speaks to the fact that she does have some problems right now, and I sympathize with her, but it's really shocking that she's actually reaching out to these people.
Yeah, so many celebrities that I speak with who have been at the game particularly for a long time are very capable of just shutting it all down and ignoring all the noise around them. Sadly, LeAnn hasn't been able to do that, and her trouble still follows her all over the place. All right, coming up next at number 4 on our Showbiz Countdown of our top 5 breakup blockbusters, Kim Kardashian and Kris Humphries' seemingly never-ending divorce, and what they can learn from Kris's own parents. Now listen to this. We just learned that Kris's parents, they just finalized their divorce in only 26 days, less than a month. Kim and Kris have been at it for nearly a year now. Brian, isn't it just ridiculous that Kim and Kris cannot work this out? I don't get it.
Honestly, it is ridiculous. But that word kind of comes up quite often when I think of Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, well, there's that.
But it is surprising, in the fact that they can't just end it already. End it. Please.
Yes, listen to Brian, Kim. And look, she's moved on very publicly, Rachel, making headlines every day with her boyfriend, Kanye. Who can forget, they're together when we're seeing it everywhere, every day. Why can't they get the divorce papers signed? Is it just that Kris is trying to stick it to her, or what's happening?
Of course he's trying to. The longer it takes, the more money he is incurring for. It's already been something like $250,000. It's the less quick that she can remarry with Kanye. So, he's trying to say that this whole marriage was a fraud, and the only way he can prove that is by getting her to admit that it was. And he's going to keep pushing it and pushing it as long as he can.
I still will say by the end of 2014, we will have this thing settled. Okay, let's move from a 72-day marriage to one that was remarkably even shorter, if you can believe that. And it's number 3 on the Showbiz Countdown of our top 5 breakup blockbusters. Evelyn Lozada, in her very first big interview since she announced she was divorcing Chad Johnson after just 41 days of marriage, after he was arrested for allegedly headbutting her. She was just on ABC's Nightline, and she talked about what went down during that violent confrontation. Let's watch.
He grabbed me by here and he headbutted me. And all I felt was, I felt like, blood coming down my face.
How are you feeling at that moment?
Humiliated, embarrassed, in shock. My fairy tale had just ended.
Yeah, this is a tough woman. I got to tell you, I'm feeling some sympathy for her watching her in this interview. But of course, a lot of people blamed Evelyn for what happened because they had seen her in so many violent confrontations on her reality show, Basketball Wives. Rachel, do you think, maybe, look, she had an influence on me. Do you think that Evelyn needed people to hear from her to believe her story?
I think she probably did. You know, she is portrayed on that other show as fiery and feisty, but the thing is, AJ, no matter how much your personality is like that, nothing ever warrants any violence. Yeah. And I think it's important for that to get out to people. You know, don't question that at all.
I'm right there with you. I want to bring in Showbiz Tonight's Nichelle Turner, who's in Hollywood. Nichelle, you saw Evelyn's interview. Do you think that maybe it did help her in the court of public opinion, maybe gained her some sympathy because she did have a lot of detractors?
Yeah, you know, she definitely did have a lot of detractors, AJ. And to be honest, I think it did do her some good doing this interview because now we have been forced to see her in another light except for the bully that she was on that show. And our colleague Rochelle Carey wrote a great blog saying that a bully can be a victim. And I think in this case, that is what happened. So now we look at her as a real person with feelings. And I think that's good in her case.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. She basically did have that one image. And now, well, she clearly has another one. All right, want to move on now to number 2 on our Showbiz Countdown, top 5 breakup blockbusters. One of the most talked about budding romances in Hollywood, but it actually already appears to be on shaky ground. Now, Nichelle, a lot of music fans are hoping this one will actually work out. Is love still in the air here? Oh, please do tell.
Oh, you know what, AJ? All eyes are on Katy Perry and John Mayer right now. You know, fans were stunned, but they were also thrilled to find out that they were dating. But there were reports just last week that John Mayer had dumped her and moved on with his life. Well, AJ, here's a word to those fans. Don't believe everything that you read, because there are brand new sightings and a frenzy of fan Twitter pics showing Katy and John hanging out and having a great time with friends over the holiday weekend. And one report that they got back together after, yes, sexting each other. Who knows, AJ? Let's just keep watching this one. We may see another walk down the aisle.
Let me bring in Brian Baltazar on this one because, Brian, you know, I had the impression that John had become somewhat of a pariah after his bad history with things he said about his exes in the press in the past. Are you surprised that he got Katy to begin with?
I'm still trying to figure out what woman says to herself, yeah, dating John Mayer seems like a really good idea. You know, I mean, this is a guy who has a reputation. And I actually like, you know, I love his music, and I like to think Katy has a head on her shoulders. But she's a grown woman, and she can handle herself. But you can't say there aren't red flags all over this when it's
woman's
over.
Perspective, Rachel. Are we missing something?
We love the bad boys. It's like candy. You know, it's bad for you, but you want it more and more. That's all I can say about that.
All right. Well, look, Katy Perry and John Mayer right here proving that breaking up is hard to do, but moving on apparently is even harder. And our number 1 breakup shocker tonight, Heidi Klum and Seal's war of words. Him now accusing her of sleeping with the help. What? Well, these two split back in January, and at the time, an optimistic Seal told CNN's Piers Morgan he actually could see them getting back together.
Is it irreparable? You can never say never. Obviously, I can't speak for my wife, and again, I'm not going to sit here and BS you and tell you we haven't had problems. Of course we've had problems, otherwise why are we splitting up? Whether we get back together or not, it may happen.
Or it may not happen. A very fired up Seal singing a very different tune after responding to reports that Heidi is dating her bodyguard. Showbiz Tonight's Nichelle Turner is joining me now from Hollywood. Exactly what did Seal say, Nichelle?
This is a wow, AJ. You know, it's been about 5 months since Heidi Klum filed for divorce for Seal after 7 years of marriage, and now Seal is speaking out about Heidi getting close with the bodyguard. And despite the fact that he separated from Heidi, he wasn't happy when asked about the two dating. Seal told TMZ, quote, "I don't necessarily expect Heidi to all of a sudden become a nun, but as always, my main priority is the emotional well-being of our children. At once, I didn't expect any better from him. I would have thought Heidi would have shown a little more class us and at least waited until we've separated before deciding to fornicate with the help, as it were.
Wow.
Now, Seal told the Photogs that now they had the answer they'd been waiting for 7 months, which led a lot of people to think that he's saying Heidi cheated on him.
Which is not exactly the case. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But right now, I want to welcome back pop culture expert Brian Baltazar and Rachel Zales from Life and Style Weekly. Look, obviously, Seal not happy about the budding relationship Heidi allegedly has with her bodyguard. But here's the thing. Seal says that he's looking out for the emotional well-being of their children. Certainly understandable, Rachel. Do you think that Seal, though, should have kept his mouth shut and not publicly accused her of sleeping with her bodyguard if he's really caring about the kids?
Absolutely, and who even speaks like that? Fornicate with the help? I mean, I'm so sick of people airing their trashy, dirty laundry in public. I mean, if he really cared about the kids, he would keep it very private between them. I mean, he needs to embody his name and seal those lips. Come on.
I mean, it's amazing. That's right. Seal told the paparazzo he wished that Heidi had waited until they separated before she fornicated with the help. But Nichelle, by separate, getting to the nitty-gritty of this story, I'm guessing he meant finalize the divorce.
Yeah, he did do some clarification, a little bit of backtracking there, AJ. Showbiz Tonight reached out to Seal's rep, who told us Seal would like to clarify that he was not implying his wife was cheating while they were together. Rather, he was merely pointing out that their separation and divorce are not yet final, and they are indeed still legally married. Now, we also heard from Heidi Klum, who tells us, I cherish all of the great memories Seal and I created together over the years. Our separation was based on issues between the two of us. Seal has moved on, and so have I. My priority has and continues to be protecting and providing for our children. I would say she is taking the high road, AJ.
Yeah, I just wish everybody didn't feel the need to always respond when things are being thrown around and rumors are being floated around. All right, Nichelle, thank you. Brian, Rachel, thank you both so much.